Subjective and objective behaviors. I want to share with you the essential balance between subjective and objective behaviors in the workplace. This module on subjective and objective behaviors is designed to help you understand when and how to apply each of these attitudes to foster better relationships and achieve your professional goals. By mastering the art of balancing subjectivity and objectivity, you can improve your interactions with colleagues and enhance the quality of your work. Subjective behaviors. Subjective behavior is based on personal feelings, tastes, or opinions. In a work environment, this often manifests in conversations about likes and dislikes, personal opinions, and emotional responses. Subjectivity is valuable for understanding how others feel and for relating to colleagues on a human level. It allows for empathy and connection, which are crucial for building strong workplace relationships. However, subjective behavior should not be applied to professional evaluations or used to create barriers between colleagues. Understanding the role of subjectivity is critical because it helps you connect with others on a personal level, fostering a supportive and collaborative work environment. When used appropriately, subjectivity can enhance team cohesion and morale. On the other hand, over-reliance on subjective behavior can lead to biased decision-making, favoritism, and conflicts, ultimately undermining the professional atmosphere of the workplace. Objective behaviors. Objective behavior, in contrast, is based on facts, figures, and logical reasoning. It involves making decisions and performing tasks based on objective criteria rather than personal feelings. Objectivity is essential for maintaining professionalism and ensuring that work is completed efficiently and accurately. It is particularly valuable when it comes to evaluating work performance, making strategic decisions, and solving problems. The ability to be objective is crucial for achieving high-quality outcomes and maintaining fairness in the workplace. By focusing on objective criteria, you ensure that your work is guided by reason and logic, leading to better results. However, being too objective can sometimes make you seem detached or unempathetic, especially when dealing with colleagues who value personal connection. Striking a balance between objectivity and subjectivity is key to effective leadership and teamwork. Subconscious patterns, subjectivity, objectivity. Your natural tendencies, such as whether you are more self-directed or others-directed, influence how you approach subjective and objective behaviors. This section explores patterns such as attention, self versus others, direction, towards versus away from, and observational style, match versus mismatch. Understanding these subconscious patterns helps you apply the right level of subjectivity or objectivity depending on the situation. Recognizing these patterns is important because they shape how you interact with others and how you approach your work. By becoming aware of your natural inclinations, you can better manage your responses and ensure that you are using the appropriate behavior in each context. Ignoring these patterns can lead to misunderstandings, miscommunication, and a lack of balance in your professional interactions. Points to ponder: subjectivity and objectivity. This section emphasizes the importance of knowing when to be subjective and when to be objective. In the workplace, it is essential to use subjectivity when dealing with people, as humans are emotional beings who respond to empathy and understanding. Conversely, objectivity should be applied to tasks and problem solving, where logic and reason are paramount. Understanding when to switch between subjectivity and objectivity is crucial for maintaining a balanced approach to work. Being too emotionally attached to your work or too detached from your colleagues can lead to unnecessary stress, isolation, and dissatisfaction. By consciously selecting the appropriate behavior for each situation, you can improve your overall work experience and achieve better outcomes. This module provides insights into the importance of balancing subjective and objective behaviors in the workplace. It encourages you to develop the skills needed to navigate complex human interactions while maintaining a high standard of professionalism and logic in your work.
Using subjective and objective behavior patterns at work. When and how to use both. Through my career, I've realized that understanding when to rely on objective measures versus subjective insights is a critical skill in the workplace. Both approaches play distinct roles in performance evaluation, decision-making, and team management. However, using them effectively requires a balance. Let me share how I've navigated this dynamic and the lessons I've learned about combining subjective and objective behavior patterns at work. The meaning of objective and subjective. One of the first things I came to understand is the distinction between objective and subjective. Objective refers to anything measurable or observable, rooted in facts and data. For example, tracking whether a project is completed on time is purely objective. Subjective refers to things based on feelings, opinions, or personal judgments. Creativity or team morale often fall under this category. While they're different, I've found that these two approaches are not mutually exclusive. Instead, they complement each other when used wisely. Difference between objective and subjective performance. Early on, I learned that relying solely on one perspective, either objective or subjective, can lead to blind spots. Objective performance is factual and data-driven, such as meeting deadlines, achieving sales targets, or maintaining error-free work. It's essential for tasks that require precision and consistency. Subjective performance, on the other hand, encompasses qualities that are harder to measure but equally important. Traits like creativity, collaboration, and leadership are often subjective but have a profound impact on team dynamics and innovation. Understanding the difference has helped me evaluate employees more fairly. For example, during one performance review cycle, I found that while objective metrics like task completion were easy to measure, subjective qualities like initiative and teamwork played a critical role in team success. Recognizing this distinction allowed me to take a more holistic approach. How to deal with subjective performance. Subjective performance is valuable, but it comes with challenges, especially the potential for bias. I've seen how unconscious biases can cloud judgments, so here's how I've learned to handle it effectively. 1. Be aware of bias. The first step is acknowledging that subjective evaluations are inherently prone to bias. I've made it a habit to check whether my opinions are influenced by personal preferences or external factors unrelated to work performance. 2. Use objective criteria. Even when evaluating subjective traits, tying them to specific behaviors or outcomes helps reduce bias. For example, instead of vaguely saying someone is innovative, I document instances where their ideas led to tangible improvements. 3. Provide constructive feedback. Employees often appreciate clarity on how subjective traits like creativity or leadership are being assessed. I make it a point to provide actionable feedback, which helps them understand expectations and areas for growth. Examples of objective and subjective performance. In practice, I've noticed that different roles and situations demand varying degrees of objectivity and subjectivity. Objective performance examples. Meeting deadlines, completing projects, and following instructions are clear, measurable outcomes. For instance, in a data entry role, the number of entries completed accurately is a key objective measure. Subjective performance examples. Traits like being innovative, showing initiative, or demonstrating strong leadership are subjective. I've seen how someone's ability to inspire their team or come up with out-of-the-box solutions can have a ripple effect on overall productivity. Recognizing and articulating these differences has helped me evaluate performance more comprehensively. When and how to use objective and subjective behavior patterns. From my experience, the key lies in knowing when to emphasize one over the other and how to combine them effectively. For routine tasks, objective measures are paramount. When managing repetitive or operational tasks, measurable performance indicators ensure fairness and clarity. For example, during an audit, focusing on accuracy and deadlines is critical. For creative roles, subjective qualities often take precedence. In roles requiring innovation or collaboration, traits like creativity or adaptability are more valuable. However, pairing these subjective evaluations with clear examples strengthens their credibility. In team dynamics, both approaches are equally important. While objective metrics like task completion track progress, subjective insights help address morale, conflict resolution, and leadership development. How to combine objective and subjective approaches. One of the best strategies I've adopted is blending these approaches for a balanced evaluation. For example, during team performance reviews, I ensure objective metrics like productivity are considered alongside subjective insights into how well individuals collaborate and support each other. The value of understanding objective and subjective patterns. Here's why mastering this balance is crucial. Improved fairness. Combining objective data with subjective insights ensures evaluations are comprehensive and equitable. Enhanced decision-making. Using objective measures for clarity and subjective judgment for nuance leads to better decisions. Stronger feedback. Employees benefit from a mix of measurable goals and constructive opinions on their softer skills. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that understanding both objective and subjective behavior patterns helps you navigate workplace dynamics more effectively. By using each approach at the right time and for the right purpose, you can foster growth, collaboration, and success in any team or organization. Practical examples of using objective and subjective behavior patterns at work. An employee working in logistics is evaluated based on the percentage of on-time deliveries and accuracy in inventory management. These metrics are measurable and provide clear feedback on performance. In the same evaluation, you notice the employee has taken the initiative to improve team morale during high-pressure situations, which has enhanced overall productivity. While harder to measure, this subjective trait is crucial for long-term team success. During a team conflict, you review specific emails or project timelines to determine if someone missed deadlines or failed to meet a standard, providing a factual basis for addressing the issue. You assess how each team member has contributed to the conflict emotionally, such as a lack of willingness to compromise or using dismissive language in meetings. This subjective understanding helps you mediate effectively. A candidate for a project management role is assessed based on qualifications, certifications, and the number of successfully completed projects. During the interview, the candidate demonstrates exceptional enthusiasm, creativity, and interpersonal skills that suggest strong leadership potential. These subjective observations often complement the objective data to make a well-rounded decision. You analyze task completion rates and the frequency of missed deadlines in a project team to identify which members are consistently underperforming. You observe that a particular team member consistently volunteers to assist others and fosters collaboration. While not captured in task metrics, this subjective behavior improves team cohesion and should be recognized. A graphic designer's work is assessed based on the number of completed designs and adherence to client specifications within the deadline. The designer's ability to bring fresh ideas to brainstorming sessions and create innovative concepts that resonate with clients is equally important, even though it's harder to quantify. A salesperson is evaluated based on the number of closed deals, revenue generated, and lead conversion rates over a quarter. You notice that the salesperson has built exceptional rapport with clients, leading to long-term customer retention and repeat business. This subjective insight helps contextualize their performance beyond short-term metrics. A potential leader is assessed based on their ability to deliver projects on time and meet set KPIs, which demonstrate accountability and reliability. You observe how well they motivate their team, resolve conflicts, and communicate a vision. These softer, subjective traits are essential for leadership success. A software engineer is evaluated based on the number of bugs fixed, lines of code written, or features developed in a given period. Their ability to think outside the box and propose creative solutions during critical project phases adds immense value, even if it's not directly measurable. You track the number of training modules completed by employees and their scores on assessments. During training sessions, you observe some employees actively engaging in discussions and asking thoughtful questions. This subjective behavior reflects their willingness to learn and grow. A customer service representative is assessed based on the number of tickets resolved, average response time, and customer satisfaction scores. You notice that one representative consistently goes above and beyond to empathize with customers, resulting in glowing feedback and improved loyalty. While subjective, this behavior is invaluable for building the company's reputation. Key takeaways. Objective patterns are best used for tasks requiring measurable outcomes like meeting deadlines, hitting KPIs, or adhering to budgets. These ensure fairness in evaluation. Subjective patterns are essential for recognizing behaviors like creativity, teamwork, leadership, or initiative, which add depth and context to performance assessments. By combining these approaches, you can ensure a balanced evaluation of performance and foster a more productive and harmonious workplace.
Let me share with you my perspective on how we can use subjective and objective behaviors to improve our everyday work life. I've learned that balancing these two approaches isn't just an abstract idea, it's something we experience every day. Here's how I see it, and I invite you to consider how these ideas might make your workday better. When I talk about subjective behavior, I mean leaning into the feelings, opinions, and personal insights that shape how we relate to one another. You know that when you share your likes, dislikes, or personal experiences, it builds connections. For example, when I talk with you about our team's challenges or celebrate our wins, I'm using my personal perspective to create understanding and rapport. However, I've also seen that using subjectivity when making formal decisions, like performance reviews or project evaluations, can sometimes lead to misunderstandings or bias. That's why I believe we should use our personal insights to nurture relationships, but be cautious not to let them cloud objective decisions. My perspective on objective behavior. On the flip side, objective behavior is all about focusing on facts, figures, and proven methods. When I tackle a project, I rely on data, clear processes, and logical reasoning to ensure everything is done accurately and on time. You might have noticed that when we work with structured guidelines or clear metrics, it often leads to smoother and more efficient outcomes. I encourage you to lean on this approach when it comes to task-related challenges. It's like having a reliable roadmap that guides us to meet deadlines and achieve high-quality results without the confusion that sometimes comes from mixing in too much personal feeling. Finding our balance. I've learned that our daily work lives are a mix of both these approaches. Sometimes when we're resolving conflicts or supporting each other, being subjective is exactly what we need, because our emotions and personal experiences matter. At other times, especially when planning or executing projects, an objective, fact-driven approach is crucial. Imagine a scenario where you're faced with a tight deadline. You might use objective strategies to map out the tasks and prioritize what needs to be done. Yet, if you're feeling overwhelmed, sharing your concerns with a colleague using your personal insights can help create a supportive environment that keeps you motivated. Chat, a tool to help us grow. I'm excited to tell you about an upcoming app designed to help us all understand our natural tendencies towards subjective or objective behavior. This tool, soon to be available on iOS, Android, Mac, and PC, is something I'm really looking forward to using. It will give us personalized insights into how we interact with our tasks and each other, so you can see where you shine and where there might be room for improvement. The idea is simple. By knowing whether you lean more towards subjective or objective behaviors, you can adjust your approach in different situations. This isn't about labeling anyone. It's about empowering each of us to become more effective and create a harmonious work environment. In conclusion, I believe that by understanding and balancing these two approaches, we can make our daily work not only more efficient, but also more enjoyable. When I reflect on my own experiences, I see how a blend of personal insight and clear, fact-based planning has helped me overcome challenges and build strong relationships at work. I invite you to consider these ideas and think about how you might apply them in your own work. Whether you're using your emotional intelligence to connect with a colleague or relying on data to drive a project forward, remember that each approach has its place. Together, we can create a workplace where both our personal insights and our objective skills shine. Let's keep this conversation going. After all, every day is a chance to learn and grow. Let me share even more insight into how we can use both subjective and objective behaviors to create a more dynamic, productive, and supportive work environment. And I want you to know that this isn't just based on my experience. Recent research in organizational psychology and innovative training methodologies has given us powerful tools to cultivate these skills further. Embracing research-backed practices. Over the past few years, studies have shown that emotional intelligence training and evidence-based coaching can dramatically improve how we balance personal insights with data-driven decision-making. Researchers have found that when employees engage in structured self-assessment exercises, role-playing scenarios, and reflective practices, they become more adept at switching between subjective and objective modes of thinking. This isn't just theory, it's backed by real-world outcomes in companies that have adopted these methods. Training methodologies that work. I want to share with you some of the modern training methods we're embracing. Experiential learning and simulation. Imagine stepping into a scenario where you must solve a problem using both your personal insights and hard data. Simulation-based exercises let you practice these skills in real time, fostering a balanced approach that helps you adapt to real-life challenges at work. Interactive workshops. In these sessions, you get to explore case studies and group exercises that highlight the strengths of both subjective and objective behaviors. You learn when to rely on empathy and personal understanding, and when to lean on facts and structured analysis. Reflective practice and self-assessment tools. Tools like digital questionnaires and 360-degree feedback systems are being used to help you gain insights into your natural tendencies. By reflecting on your own behavior patterns, you can identify areas for growth and fine-tune your approach. This continuous learning cycle is essential in today's fast-paced work environment. Coaching and mentoring. One-on-one coaching sessions provide personalized feedback, whether you're learning to be more objective when handling project details or more empathetic in your team interactions. Coaching can help you integrate these skills seamlessly into your daily routine. Mindfulness and neurofeedback techniques. Some cutting-edge programs even incorporate mindfulness training and neurofeedback. These approaches help you manage stress and enhance focus, making it easier to switch between your subjective and objective modes as the situation demands. Bringing it all together. When I think about our day-to-day work, I see a blend of both personal connection and factual decision-making. Research shows that when we actively engage in practices that develop our emotional intelligence alongside our analytical skills, we not only boost our performance, but also foster a more inclusive and collaborative workplace. For example, if you're facing a tight deadline, you might use objective strategies, like breaking down the project into measurable steps to ensure you meet your goals. But if you're feeling overwhelmed, sharing your feelings in a supportive team meeting can help lighten the emotional load, ensuring that everyone remains motivated and connected. What this means for you. I invite you to embrace these methods, not as separate skills, but as complementary parts of a holistic approach to professional growth. Every training session, workshop, or coaching conversation is an opportunity for you to better understand your natural tendencies and learn how to switch gears effectively. The goal is to empower you to handle both task-related challenges and interpersonal dynamics with confidence. By blending these research-backed training methodologies into our everyday practices, we're setting the stage for not just better work outcomes, but also a more satisfying and balanced work life. Together, we can build a workplace where our personal insights and analytical skills come together to create an environment that values both empathy and excellence. Let's continue to learn, adapt, and grow, because every day is a new opportunity to become even better at what we do. Let me share my perspective on how balancing subjective and objective behaviors can elevate our work in engineering design and consultancy. I believe that blending personal insights with data-driven decision-making not only enriches our creative process, but also sharpens our technical precision. Here's how I see it and how you can apply these ideas in our engineering projects every day. My take on subjective behavior in engineering design is all about tapping into our personal insights, creative vision, and intuitive understanding of design challenges. When I reflect on a project, say developing a new layout for a control room or conceptualizing an innovative structural solution, I rely on my experiences and gut instincts to spark creative ideas. You might notice that during brainstorming sessions, your unique perspectives help us identify potential improvements that might otherwise be overlooked. For instance, if you suggest reconfiguring a workspace based on what you've observed in the field, that insight can lead us to design solutions that are more user-friendly and effective. On the other hand, objective behavior in our work means grounding these creative ideas in solid data, rigorous analysis, and proven engineering principles. When I evaluate a design, I turn to simulations, technical specifications, and industry standards to ensure our proposals are both innovative and feasible. You might use tools like finite element analysis or simulation software to validate a new concept, ensuring that every design element meets safety and performance criteria. For example, if we're testing a novel approach for optimizing energy efficiency in a system, objective data and detailed analysis will help us refine the idea until it's both practical and reliable. In our daily projects, especially in complex environments like upstream oil and gas engineering, it's essential to merge these two approaches seamlessly. Imagine we're designing a drilling platform. Initially, we might brainstorm creative safety features based on operator feedback and field observations. Then, we switch gears to run detailed simulations and structural analyses to verify that these features perform as expected under real-world conditions. This balanced approach not only fosters innovation, but also ensures that our designs are safe, efficient, and compliant with industry standards. Recent research and modern training methodologies support this balanced approach. Studies in organizational psychology and engineering management show that techniques like simulation exercises, interactive workshops, and one-on-one coaching can help us develop both our creative and analytical skills. You can participate in simulated design challenges where you first propose ideas based on personal insights and then validate them with hard data. These practices have proven effective in fostering an environment where both intuitive and objective decision-making coexist harmoniously, leading to superior project outcomes. By embracing this dual approach, we not only enhance our engineering design and consultancy work, but also build a more collaborative and innovative workplace. I invite you to reflect on how you currently approach design challenges and consider how integrating both subjective creativity and objective analysis can transform your projects. Together, by leveraging our personal experiences and rigorous technical methods, we can push the boundaries of what's possible and deliver exceptional results in our industry. Let me share how I blend subjective insights with objective rigor in our engineering design work, especially in the upstream oil and gas industry. I truly believe that balancing these approaches can drive innovation while ensuring safety and efficiency in our projects. Here's how you and I can apply these ideas with some concrete examples from our field. My take on subjective behavior in upstream oil and gas engineering means tapping into our intuition and creative experience when tackling complex challenges. For example, when I'm involved in the conceptual design of a new drilling platform, I rely on my hands-on experience and gut instincts to envision innovative layouts that enhance operator safety and streamline operations. You might recall a time when field feedback sparked an idea, like reconfiguring a control room based on real-world observations, which ultimately led to a design that better meets the needs of the crew. On the other hand, objective behavior grounds these creative ideas in solid data and proven engineering principles. When evaluating a new well design, I turn to advanced simulation software, technical specifications, and rigorous analyses to ensure that our proposals meet stringent safety and performance standards. You might be the one running these simulations or crunching the numbers to verify that our concepts can withstand the challenging conditions typical in upstream operations. This objective analysis validates our creative insights, ensuring that every design is both innovative and reliable. Research and modern training methodologies further support this balanced approach. Studies in organizational psychology and engineering management have shown that methods such as simulation exercises, interactive workshops, and personalized coaching can enhance both creative intuition and technical precision. Imagine participating in a simulated design challenge where you first propose solutions based on field experience and then work with data and analytics to refine those ideas. This combination not only sharpens our technical skills, but also fosters a culture of continuous improvement and innovation. By blending subjective insights with objective data, we create a dynamic engineering environment where creative ideas are rigorously tested and refined. I encourage you to trust your intuition when generating ideas and then to ground those ideas in hard analysis. Together, by applying these balanced approaches, we can push the boundaries of what's possible in the upstream oil and gas industry and deliver exceptional, safe, and efficient project outcomes.